How to keep evergreen content fresh. The funny thing about this question is that true evergreen content doesn't need to be kept fresh. That's actually the point. Most people are using the term evergreen wrong, but I understand their goal. They want their content to succeed. They want to be fresh and cutting edge. So don't worry, this episode will certainly help you with that. But let's just make sure that we're on the same page. So one way that marketers use the word evergreen is they'll create an automated webinar and they'll send paid traffic to it and keep using that same webinar for many months or sometimes even years. So they call it an evergreen webinar. But then eventually performance declines, and so they start talking about refreshing their evergreen content. But again, it's not evergreen content. It's content with an expiration date. True evergreen content stays relevant on its own, and you don't need to pay to send traffic to it. So what content am I suggesting that you create? Because everyone wants to stay current. They want to be seen as relevant. They want to know what's working now. They want to talk about the latest trends. And there's certainly a place for all of that, but that's not what makes content evergreen. Think about it this way. If I created a video 10 years ago answering a question that people are still asking today, and they'll still be asking that same question 10 years from now, why would that content need to be refreshed? The value didn't come from a trend. The value came from answering a timeless question. That's what evergreen content really is. It's content that solved a problem yesterday. It solves the same problem today, and it will solve that same problem years from now. When most people try to keep their content fresh, they assume that they need new ideas, new trends, new topics, new platforms. But often they're solving the wrong problem. It's not that the content got old. The issue is that the topic was never evergreen to begin with. A trend has a shelf life. A news story has a shelf life. A platform update has a shelf life. But these fundamental questions that your audience is asking, they don't often change. A business owner still wants to know how to get more customers. Someone preparing for retirement still wants to know if they have enough money. A parent still wants to know how to help their child succeed. Someone struggling with health still wants to lose weight or gain energy or reduce pain. A homeowner still wants to know how to increase the value of their property. An entrepreneur still wants to know how to grow a business. So the technology changes, the platforms change, the algorithms will change, but the underlying questions remain the same. That's why I focus so heavily on questions, and question research tells us what your dream clients consistently want help with. If thousands of people ask the same questions year after year after year, then that's a strong indicator that you found an evergreen topic. So if you can provide the best answer to that question, we have a winning strategy. So creating content this way is going to help you get views and generate leads for years. Now, does this mean that you never need to create content about trends? Well, you still need to nurture your existing audience. Nurturing is important, but not at the expense of marketing. And getting in front of new people who've never heard of you before is how I define marketing. The foundation of your thought leadership should be evergreen content. Content built around questions that aren't going away. So if there's something that I hope you take away from this episode, it's that evergreen content isn't about making your content last longer. It's about answering questions that never stop mattering. The experts who dominate their category are not constantly chasing trends, but they're identifying the questions that their dream clients are consistently asking, and they become the best answer to that. So that raises an important question. How do you know which questions to answer? How do you identify the questions that have this consistent search volume year after year? And how do you know which topics will continue generating views, leads, and opportunities long after you publish them? And lastly, once you've identified those questions, how do you make sure that your dream clients who are searching on Google, YouTube, and ChatGPT, how do you make sure that they find you instead of your competitors? Well, that's exactly what thought leadership is all about. So on my next episode, What is Thought Leadership? I'll show you how to identify the right questions, how to build content around them, and how to position yourself so that when your dream clients are searching for answers, they consistently find you time after time. So if you'd like to stop chasing trends and start owning your category, then watch that video next. I'll see you there.